Story 1 of 2. Australia's 2026 federal budget tax reforms on negative gearing, CGT, and housing. Australia's 2026 federal budget tax reforms on negative gearing, CGT, and housing. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Treasurer Jim Chalmers will deliver the 2026 federal budget on May 12th with changes to negative gearing and capital gains tax, CGT, as key elements. Changes to negative gearing will be fully grandfathered, meaning existing investors, around 1 million landlords, will retain their current tax breaks, but new investors will face restrictions, likely limited to newly built homes. The CGT discount will likely be reduced from 50% to a pre-1999 inflation-adjusted model, or a flat discount, e.g. the 25-30%, with partial grandfathering for existing assets. The Albanese government aims to build 1.2 million homes by mid-2029, but is currently on track for 980,000, with the National Housing Supply and Affordability Council warning of increased uncertainty due to the war in Iran. Inflation is at a 3-year high of 4.6%, partly due to the war in Iran and rising petrol prices, as reported on April 30th, 2026. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian and ABC suggest that changes to negative gearing and CGT will not significantly raise rents or shrink housing supply, while news.com.au and Mark Boris warn of potential negative equity risks and reduced investor demand, leading to higher rents and falling house prices. The SMH and Guardian report that the budget will include a one-off tax cut of around $300 per worker, but cabinet sources in the SMH suggest it may be delayed until after the election. The Guardian states that the budget will include $10 billion for fuel security, while news.com.au reports a $10 billion package, but specifies $7.5 billion for financial support and $3.2 billion for a fuel reserve. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, Sydney Morning Herald, and The Age.
Story 2 of 2. Fair Work Commission dismisses Woolworths workers' plumbers crack unfair dismissal claim. Fair Work Commission dismisses Woolworths workers' plumbers crack unfair dismissal claim. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Fair Work Commission. Deputy President Alan Coleman dismissed a case filed by a Victorian Woolworths worker claiming unfair dismissal over a plumber's crack comment. The worker was told by a co-worker to cover up the cleft of his bottom protruding from his trousers during a casual shift at Woolworths. Woolworths stated the worker continued working shifts after lodging the claim and later stopped turning up, contradicting his dismissal claim. This was the worker's 5th application to the Fair Work Commission in 2 years. Fair Work Commission President Justice Adam Hatcher previously attributed a 70% increase in caseloads from 2020-21 to 2024-25 to AI-driven speculative claims. But not all outlets told the same story. The SMH states the case was dismissed last week, while The Guardian says it was dismissed on Thursday, May 9th, 2026, with no conflicting dates provided in the articles themselves. This story was covered by The Guardian and Sydney Morning Herald.